The game that we chose for application and generalization is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? This is an oldie but a goodie, dating back to 1990 for the deluxe edition release, which is what version this is that we are demonstrating. Just because the game is old does not mean that students may not respond to it. Many students that have been put down in front of games like Oregon Trail for the old Apple IIe are still fans. And although the graphics are not to be competing with new age PlayStations or Xboxes, I would like to remind everyone that the game Minecraft has hundreds of millions of players and is basically 8-bit graphics rendered onto rudimentary cube-shaped polygons. So one of the most unappealing graphical games has one of the biggest player bases, especially among children. So Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego is a game that is to teach skills regarded to history or social studies, specifically geography. Basically, Carmen Sandiego is a criminal, or is in a criminal syndicate, and we are playing the role of an investigator from Interpol, and it is our job to track down Ms. Sandiego. How we do that is by going through the world that's in the map and by uncovering clues and using our knowledge and understanding of components of geography and other sorts of skills learned in social studies to catch Miss Sandiego. This game is an example of application because a student will not necessarily be learning much new information about a specific geographical area. They do collect clues as they go around and investigate crimes. However, the key to success in this game is using previously gained knowledge and applying it to the specific situation to catch Carmen Sandiego. Now, this is an application as opposed to a generalization activity, whereas we understand the process in which we need to use the information which we have. We know that we are trying to use our knowledge of geography to help catch this criminal. Now, if we didn't necessarily know the process in which we were going to complete a specific task, that would be generalization, whereas we would know the specific prerequisite information, but we don't necessarily know the process in which to utilize that information. That's considered generalization. Since in Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, we know that we are using our information regarded to geography and social studies to catch a criminal. That's a known process. When we use information for a known process, that's application, whereas if we use known information for a unknown or a new process, that's generalization. As you can see, the interface for this game is relatively simple. We have our communicator device, which looks like a very 1990s version of a first generation or zero generation BlackBerry. We also have the black portion of the screen in the bottom center, which has things such as your dossier, which you got from Interpol, your suspects, either ones that you have identified or ones that Interpol has identified, and any information about the country that you are in that is available to you. So basically in this game, you travel to a specific area to try and catch Carmen, and you go around and you talk to people and you ask for information and you learn a little bit about the specific areas. Here you can see that we must be close to our criminal because we had a sabotage attempt. They just rolled a little cannon out, so you know that when things like that happen, we're getting closer to our target goal. So as we talk to people, we learn and we uncover clues about the case. Sometimes they will say things like, I saw them take off in a plane with a red and white and blue striped flag. And they said that they were going to the Riviera, or they're going to Paris or something like that. So, given that information, the player would then deduce to say, okay, well, I think that that person has gone to France. So they have the ability to travel, and then on travel, the game will give them actually a limited amount of choices, which helps them out a little bit to say, okay, do you want to go here, here, here? And then they can go there, and they basically repeat this process in the spirit of a private investigator. They go to the next lead, they explore, and they talk to people, they gather more clues, and as they get closer, they'll have things like the cannon that you saw before. That'll be signs that the criminals are trying to ward you off their trail, which will ultimately culminate in you capturing Carmen Sandiego and completing the mission.